1 week after President Trump's demolition of the East Wing of the White House, we have the first polling that tells us a little bit about what the American people think of the saga. Yahoo News and YouGov found 57% of Americans disapprove of the demolishing of the East Wing to make way for Trump's ballroom. Among Republicans, 55% approve, 23% disapprove. About a quarter of them aren't sure what they think. But when asked the same question again, if told that there was a quote from Trump saying, quote, "The East Wing is being fully modernized as part of the process and will be more beautiful than ever," his approval among Republicans does tick up to 60%. Our panel is back. We're also joined again by our text chain. Chuck Todd, I mean, honestly, the just 55% of Republicans approving of this is very low for Donald Trump among Republicans. People seem unhappy about this. He polls higher on other issues.
Well, look, I mean, in all seriousness on these issues, this is the danger on these issues are not what he's doing itself. It's is he focused on this and not on me? Is he right? Like, I think we've all, and this is always the danger of any presidency, is that you get caught up in what you're doing. Donald Trump's more worried about trying to get his Peace Prize, more worried about trying to, flying overseas. I'm old enough to remember when George H.W. Bush was doing all this stuff at the end of the Cold War and flying all over the world, and Democrats just started playing the.
And then you forgot how much milk was.
Right. Yeah. But what about me? And I think that's what he seems so intent on, building a monument to himself. And there's, I think, going to be a commemorative coin coming out of the Treasury Department. And it's like, what are you doing about my rising grocery bills, about my rising electricity bills, right?
Yeah.
That's where these stories become really dangerous.
This poll shows that 75% of Americans, Elliot, think that the Trump administration's focus on lowering prices is not enough.
Yeah, look, let me take an unpopular position here, and I think most Americans had no idea what the East Wing was prior to about a week ago, right? No one probably, if they said, hey, the East Wing is going to go away, would not care and did not care.
It's the power of a picture.
But the rubble, which we're showing, the rubble is awful for the president and everybody, and it looks like part of the White House is being destroyed. But let me say again what I said yesterday on the program, Casey, the Justice Department is being destroyed. People care about pricing. There are bigger fish to fry in America than a major renovation happening at the White House. However gaudy and Trumpy it is, there are just bigger things that people need to focus on.
So, I mean, Governor, do you think these images, do people in Wisconsin react to these images?
Well, whether they're for or against it, I mean, you can go through all the things he said about Teddy Roosevelt and his relative Franklin Roosevelt and all the changes they made. There have been plenty of changes over the years. I think it goes back to the heart of what both of you just said, which is polling. Donald Trump beat Kamala Harris, at least in my state, because I could say a gallon of gas was $1.25 more at my Quick Trip than it was 4 years ago, because my kids were paying $1,000 more on their mortgage than they would have when Donald Trump was president the first time. For him to not just get polls don't matter, he's not running again. What they matter for is next November in the midterms. And if he's going to sustain the House, I think the Senate's in pretty good shape considering the map, but keep the House, which is difficult because Ronald Reagan, even after he won 49 states, still lost the House 2 years later. If he's going to keep the House, he's got to get refocused like a laser beam on what does it take to lower prices. People see this, they don't think that. He's got time to do it, but it's trade, it's taxes, and it's terrible government spending he's got to focus on.
All right. Thank you to Irina Tekshner for joining us for this. We'll be right back.